welcome. I've seen you all been hitting some golf balls already, so that's a really good thing. Today what I'd like to talk about is how to improve your short game. And the first thing that we want to do is make a distinction between chipping and pitching. A lot of times when I'm giving private lessons, I'll ask a person, well, what's the difference between pitching and chipping? And they kind of look at me and say, well, what do you mean? There's a difference between chipping and pitching? Yes, there is. I'm going to focus today on chipping. But if you were chipping, I would recommend, and I'll be going through these in just a second, but here's my chipping setup and swing. Very abbreviated. Ball's not going to go very far. The ball's going to roll a lot. When you are pitching, your feet widen out, ball placement changes, and suddenly your swing becomes something more like this. Chipping, real short, ball's not going very far. Pitching, everything changes. So the first thing that you start with is the idea. Oh, thank you.
Take down. 2 points.
And, and he saved it, exactly. You caught it.
It hit the ground, man. You didn't save it.
No, see? We're going to have the replay. We've got it on camera.
That's exact. It's on film.
Yeah, look at that. He's got the camera right there. He took a snapshot of it.
So, again, today what I'd like to do is just start with chipping. I tend to view it as the cornerstone of a good short game. It's less complicated than pitching, but what it does, it gets the ball close to the hole. If you get the ball close to the hole, you're going to become a better putter. These are some numbers that you might just want to write these down. The professional golfers, best in the world, at 3 feet from the hole, their percent of makes is 96%. At 6 feet, their percent drops 6 feet away. Their percent drops to 64% made. So go from 96 to 64. So the key for putting is that if you get the ball close to the hole, you become a better putter. At 15 feet, tour players make 15% of their putts. At 30 feet, they make 3%. So at 30 feet, putting is kind of just, it's certainly some skill, but there's also a component of luck to it. So the key is just, if you want to improve your putting, number one, have a good short game, and that gets you close to the hole. If you're close to the hole, you're going to make more putts. Okay, now, before I get into my notes, what I want to do is I want to give you a handout right now.
Sorry, I'm late here.
That's okay. Here's a pencil. So, would you like a handout?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Just something to write on. Okay, when you are near the green and you're chipping, here is the first thing that you have to do so that you have a plan. Every golf course in America is set up the same way. If you are playing 18 holes, there will be 6 of the hole locations will be on the front third of the green, 6 will be in the middle third of the green, 6 will be in the back third of the green. They're all set up the same way. Now the reason for that is it helps to kind of change and alter foot traffic. If they had all of the holes on the front third of the green, then number one, the course would be playing shorter than what it should be, and everybody would kind of be wearing out that front third of the green. So assuming that they change the hole locations the next day, they'll still maintain the same pattern. 6 in front, 6 in the middle, 6 in the back. Okay? The average green in America from the front edge to the back is about 140 feet. Some are a little bit more, some are a little bit less, but if you use 140 feet, it's going to be a safe number. So, here is the plan that I would suggest. I brought out 3 clubs today. If you buy into this plan and it makes sense to you, it's going to make your chipping life so much easier. If the pin is on the front third of the green, take your most lofted wedge. Paul, I'm going to just borrow your clubs. Just hold on 1 second.
You break them, you buy them.
I break? Okay, let's do that. Okay, so I just took a total of 7 of Paul's clubs. I'm going to suggest to you, as your skill set improves, any or all of these clubs should at least be a consideration for when you're near the green. But for right now, just do this. Say, if the pin is on the front third of the green, Paul's most lofted club is his 56-degree wedge. So, if the pin's on the front third of the green and you're standing down here, take the 56-degree wedge. If the pin is in the middle of the green, take your 8-iron. If the pin is in the back third of the green, then take your 6-iron. I would estimate Paul's 6-iron has probably about 30 degrees of loft on the face. I'm just guessing, but that's a pretty safe number. So the loft is this angle between the face and the shaft. Well, if his 6-iron has 30 degrees and his 56-degree wedge, well, we've got 26 degrees difference in loft. See, we're making it so easy. If you say, okay, divide the green into thirds, here's the club to use. Now, all we need to do is take one swing, but with 3 different clubs. A good friend of mine, who I played college golf with, he is the best player in the state of Wisconsin. He teaches my son. So, I went to a golf school in Chicago. I went to it twice, once a year for the last 2 years. And the first time I went to the school, he was more interested in what I learned than I think I was. So I came back and he said, okay, Paul, let's go to the driving range. And again, this is the best player in the state of Wisconsin. His name is Eddie Teresa. So he said, okay, why don't you aim at that target? And I got a club. Okay. Then he said, aim at that target. I went to my bag and got a different club. And he said, what are you doing? I said, well, Eddie, if you give me a different target, I'm going to choose a different club. And again, this is the best player in the state of Wisconsin. He said, I can't believe it's that simple. And I said, well, just think about it. Just choosing a different club is a lot easier than saying, I'm going to change my swing. Between the 6-iron and Paul's sandwich, 26 degrees difference in loft. So if the pin is up front and I use the high lofted club, the ball's going to fly up. How much roll? Not much. If the pin is back, hit the ball maybe here, land it here, and let it do what? Roll into the hole. I know a lot of people who are out playing golf, they think their strategy should be to try and fly the ball into the hole. In my entire life, I have flown the ball into the hole twice. But I've rolled it into the hole a lot. So, pick your spot where you think the ball should land, and then let it roll from there. Okay? Guys, here, I didn't write this down, but just turn over your sheet of paper and I'll give you some meaningful numbers. Okay, I'm going to give you the approximate carry to roll ratio. So in other words, if the ball carries in the air X distance, how much more is it going to roll? If you use a 6-iron, the approximate ratio of carry to roll is 1 to 4. So now we're going to do some math. Okay? If the ball carries 15 feet in the air and the ratio is 1 to 4, how far away is the hole from where I'm standing?
There.
75 feet. Because you got to anticipate the 15 feet of carry, because it was up in the air, and then 4 times that, the hole is probably about 75 feet from where you're standing. If you choose your 8-iron, that ratio goes to 1 to 3. If the hole is 12 feet away, or excuse me, if the ball carries 12 feet in the air, 1 to 3, 36 feet of roll, the hole is probably about 48 feet from where you're standing. If you use a pitching wedge, a sand wedge, it's approximately 1 to 2. So if you hit the ball 15 feet in the air, it will roll about 30 feet. The hole is probably about 45 feet from where you're standing. So guys, the key in that is you need to pick the spot where you want the ball to land and then let it do what?
Roll.
Roll. Again, if you're trying to fly the ball into the hole, that will drive you nuts. Don't ever try and fly it in the hole. Let it roll to the hole.
Possibly.
Does that make sense as a starting point? Okay, so guys, then let's turn your sheet over. Paul, I've got 7 of your clubs. Just.
I heard 6.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to I made some notes earlier, and I'm going to kind of refer to these notes. But, guys, chipping, it's such an easy shot. As long as you kind of have a clue what you're doing.
Okay, good.
So, the very, very first thing that you need to do, and whatever club I choose, it doesn't make any difference. It's all the same swing. So if I chose Paul's 56-degree wedge, when I'm chipping the ball, I always set the ball in line with my big toe on my right foot. Because guys, you only have one big toe on your right foot. Now I know Paul Raditz, he has 12 toes on his foot. But for the rest of us, okay, if I set the ball in line with my big toe on my right foot, I can be consistent. If one time I set the ball here, one time I set it here, one time I set it there, what chance do I have of being consistent? None. So when I get set to swing, the ball is in line with my big toe on my back foot. Does anybody here, anybody left-handed, play left-handed? Okay, so I'll use right foot, left foot versus back front. So, since we're all right-handed, my back foot is my right foot. If I'm chipping the ball, I'm always going to have the ball in line with my big toe. I can at least be consistent on that thing.
Does that mean that your foot's in line with that too, or just the toe and the ball are in alignment? Because your target being out in front of you, are you drawing a line perpendicular from the line between your toe and the ball to the target?
How about, Paul, by the time I'm done with the setup component, if I haven't answered that question, you hit me again, okay? Let's say for right now, I was just aiming at those 2 chairs that are on the left-hand side, the ones with the labels, okay? So what you'll find is when I get set to swing, again, the ball is in line with my big toe because my feet are in fact aimed a little bit to my left. So I'm aiming the club at the target, but my feet are aimed over towards those trees. Now, there's a reason for why the feet are open, because it helps you to already get your left hip out of the way. See, if I'm taking a real short swing and my feet are straight, kind of like Paul was referencing, see, now I got to worry about my left hip. It's in the way. If I do this, I've already created some space. My left hip is out of the way. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So that line that you're drawing, Paul, extends from the ball back straight to the toe. Does that help out? Okay. So again, make sure that your left foot is behind your right foot. It's backed up a little bit. In golf terms, we're saying that means your feet are open. If your feet were like this, your feet are closed. So I get set to swing.